Hi, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Dynamic Dialogue Lounge here at the SOCAP10, where we're interviewing a bunch of very innovative social entrepreneurs. I'm Arabella Santiago with JustGo.tv, and we're sitting down with Nick Ellis. He is the founder of Job Rooster, which is a mobile platform job-seeking technology. So, Nick, tell us about your organization.
Sure. So Job Rooster was founded last year in 2009. We've been up and live and funded and operating since June of this year. And effectively what we're out there doing is helping people find jobs on their mobile phone, allowing them to be alerted to those jobs over text message and then apply on the spot. We're working with a few thousand job seekers right now, a number of clients, and are really excited about the next 6 to 9 months as we roll up and scale out nationwide. But that's basically where we are and what we're up to now.
And you mentioned that you found some investors in your idea. And how did you go about doing that?
Yeah, great question. So we have friends, family, and a number of Valley veterans that have invested about $650,000 in us. It was a lot of elbow grease, quite honestly, Arabella, and shoe leather. Just kind of a constant persistence to get in front of them and explain the market opportunity. I think the big thing we learned was that you have to educate investors that aren't exposed to social enterprises and the dynamics of how that business works. And so we took, 6 months to really get our first folks in. But once we did, I think a lot of folks very quickly followed on and saw the opportunity. And we're going to be going out looking for Series A in about February or March of next year. So we're excited about that opportunity and challenge too.
And that's a very aggressive timeline, I think. So
yeah, it is. I think it's demanded of us, quite honestly, right now. Unemployment is such a big problem, domestically and nationwide, that to the extent I think there's any good solution out there that can help solve that problem, my hope is there's going to be capital that meets that need and helps those organizations scale and get to, help people put people back to work. Excuse me.
So how many people are using your platform right now?
We've got about 2,000 right now domestically. We have some really big partnerships we're excited about launching. The first is going to be with an organization called Beyond.com later this month. That'll get us in front of a couple million people. And our growth trajectory looks like we'll be adding about 50,000 users a month going ahead, and we would hope to be at about 250,000 users when we actually publicly launch on January 1, 2011.
So can you tell us and walk us through user experience with Job Rooster?
And if you have your phone, you can pull it out and do it, but nice catch.
All right, so what is it?
So what you do is you'd create a text message with the word jobs in the subject of the text message, and you would send it to the number 27697, which is CROWS.
So it's just a keypad?
Or just create a text message, not a phone call. So send a text. If you go back home. Arabella, we're going to teach you 2 things at once. So here we go. Go to your messages. Text messages, and then compose a new one to 27697. 697. Yep. That says CROWS, and then put the word jobs in the subject of the or the body of the text message. If you click down here, oops, go back.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
You got it.
It's not.
There you go.
Platform. It's just I don't know how to use my iPhone.
But basically, anybody can subscribe to the service on the spot on any network nationwide. The moment you send that word jobs to that short code 27697, you'll be prompted back to enter in your zip code and the type of job you're looking for. At which point in time, the system really takes on a life of its own and starts to match you with local jobs in your area that you can both be alerted to and in many cases apply to on the spot just over text message. And you do that typically by answering a few qualifying questions that the employer wants to know about. That'll help you assert kind of your position in line and make the case about how qualified you are for that job. Thanks.
And so, when you did your market research and figured that this is something that is needed out there, have you found anybody who's doing the same thing? Or
I have actually. There's a number of, I would call them both competitors and folks we look to for inspiration that are doing things in Palestine, in Nicaragua, in India, and everybody has a slightly different play on how it works. We're the only folks doing this domestically here, and I think that's kind of a unique opportunity for us. Most people believe that the U.S. market is not ready for business services over text message, and I think what we're finding is quite the contrary. Folks are out there, especially as it pertains to unemployment, there's a huge need and a willingness to pay for a service that's less than a cup of coffee that can significantly improve your chances of finding a job right now.
And so this is a paid service.
It's free right now, so for those of you that catch this in the next few weeks, feel free, please sign up and register online for free or by text. But by the end of the month, we're going to charge a few dollars per user per month to subscribe and use the service.
And you mentioned a lot about collaborating and having partnerships. Have you spoken to any recruiters or any
Yep. So right now our partners and our clients are government agencies. So the state of Oregon is a great example. A couple of communities out in the state of Pennsylvania. Large-scale employers are another one. And then we are working with nonprofit institutions that serve, Spanish-speaking homeless populations to get people signed up for the service. But really our partners span the spectrum of key players in and around the workforce ecosystem. So we've been signing them up kind of as we go. Job boards are one of those areas where we're finding a natural partnership. But we're really excited to see, where the deepest resonance is out there and where the greatest demand is for that service.
And I also think it's really interesting that you were talking about the emerging markets and their use of mobile as compared to our use of mobile domestically. And it's interesting that you brought something from abroad to here. And can you talk about that process?
Sure. I think, the Pew Center for Internet Research recently released a study that showed some really shocking statistics about domestic mobile phone use. 7.5 hours a day are spent on the mobile phone by people right now. Text messaging is far and away the most popular application on the mobile phone when you're using it. And that's just here. When you look abroad, those trends are even more exaggerated. Text messaging really becomes almost the only service used on those phones. They're relying on it, 7.5 hours a day, really 24 hours a day to keep in touch for everything from basic human services about getting childcare for their family or finding a ride to work to even more life or death healthcare services. I think what we've seen is there's an immediate need just domestically to help match people with jobs better than what current online solutions are offering. And particularly for those that are earning $50,000 a year and less, this service really fits their lifestyle. It allows them to apply to jobs when they're waiting at the bus stop, or just when they have a few minutes of spare time. And it doesn't require the same big investment that buying a computer, paying for internet access, and finding 3 hours to go and search on monster.com require. So we think there's a really natural fit with that base of the pyramid audience. The thing that excites me is we're seeing as many people at the high end of the spectrum also subscribe to the service just because they want to use it as a way to keep their finger on the pulse of the local labor market and find out if they are a TV journalist, what other TV journalist jobs might be available to them in their area. So I think it really has broad appeal, but we're certainly trying to help those that are kind of most underserved by existing online solutions right now.
And that's very interesting. What is your story personally? How did you get into this space?
Sure. I've always been interested in public interest work, public benefit work. For the last 3 years, I've run a green job placement company here in San Francisco that operates internationally called Bright Green Talent. It was really out of the frustrations and seeing how the job placement process works right now that I started banging my head against the challenge of how do we make this easier for folks. How do we get people into jobs even days and weeks faster given some of the budget crises our unemployment system's facing? And it was just through a series of conversations with friends and counselors and everyday users that I discovered there's probably a market opportunity here for a very affordable, accessible service that can help people get back to work faster. So.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for sitting down with us and telling us about Job Rooster. And I wish you luck with your endeavor. Where can we find out more about Job Rooster?
Certainly, text the word jobs to 27697 to sign up for the service. Or if you'd like to go to jobrooster.com, you can sign up online as well. We'll look forward to helping you guys out. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the SOCAP10 Dynamic Dialogue Lounge. We really appreciate your viewership. And if you'd like to learn more about all of the interviewees we've had throughout the past 2 days, just go to justgood.tv and also SOCAP10.net. I'm Arabella Santiago.